Team Wylde are once again back in EUL. Everyone's favourite best of one team, but can they go one step further this year? There's been a few new acquisitions for the side of Team Wylde, with a few couple players leaving and some very experienced players coming in. But I'll let you speak to one of the players and listen from Teb and what he has to say about the upcoming season right now.
Hello guys, Wylde Rainbow Six Siege team here. EUL League is starting soon and we are very happy to show you our potential. We have been working really hard these past weeks. We didn't have a lot of time, but I'm sure that with your support and with our hard work, we're gonna reach great results. So let's see each other soon and let's go Wylde.
Well, you heard it there from Mr. Teb and the team themselves. Let's go Wylde. But who are Wylde? Wylde are an Irish organisation who is also co-owned by the one, the only, the fastest man in the world, Mr. Usain Bolt. Wylde also compete in a range of other esports such as Rocket League, Valorant and FIFA as well. So if you've got a bit of Irish in you and you want to support the Irish, you can get around and get amongst Wylde. So how did Wylde do in Stage 2 of last year in 2023? Well, they had a pretty impressive performance in the group stages. They did play 4 games. 3 of those games actually included 7-0s. Wylde 7-0'd Koi. They also 7-0'd Team Secret. They then lost 7-0 to Virtus Pro. And then they just missed out against ITB, losing to them 8-7, which meant they qualified through second place in their group as they went through to the deciders. The deciders themselves didn't start particularly well, with a 2-0 loss up against M&M, which dropped them straight down into the 5th place seeding match. In that 5th place seeding match, they went up against ITB and did manage to get their revenge after losing to them in the group stages 8-7 by beating ITB 2-0, which meant they went through to the LCQs as the last chance to qualify for the Atlanta Major. So the LCQs started off quite well for Wylde with a 2-0 victory up against Koi, but then ITB, it was their turn to finally get revenge against Wylde in that back and forth battle that they had, as they unfortunately lost to ITB 2-0, which meant they weren't going to make the Atlanta Major. They also hadn't yet acquired enough points to make SI, so this was the end of the season for Team Wylde. So you could say that maybe a couple of changes needed to come in because they didn't manage to make it to any majors last year. And now we'll have a quick look at what changes have been made and why that's got me excited, and hopefully you as well. So who is in that new Wylde roster? Well, we have Patball returning, Teb returning, Nello and Kanto coming in, the 2 experienced players. Nello from M&M, Kanto coming across from ITB, and then we have Lolo coming in from the ex-Makers lineup as well. That will be your new 5 for the season. So getting in 2 experienced players and then 1 exciting sort of T2 prospect in Lolo, who is an absolute gunner. So who knows what could happen, baby? But one player I am going to focus on is this young Northern Irish lad here, Mr. Patball, Patball himself. We do have a fantastic chant for Patball as well, which I will sing to you after you watch a little bit of what Patball can do. He was one of the top performing players for Wylde last year, with so many frags, so many clutches, the king of the yokais himself. And let's have a look at one of his clutches from the last year.
But none have been used at all, and Uses just completely domes him. Surely we don't see another Patball 4K. He's on towards 3, Tim. It's just Nave left alive, and once again M&M have let him bring this down to a 1 versus 1. Snaked his way in, sleuth beyond the defenses, and no one had any idea that he was coming. He's done a lot of damage. May well use his exothermic as a bit of a bait here as he works his way down the main stairs. Nave at the very least knows loosely where he is. Oh my god, Nave almost sidesteps into it, flash over the top, dancing around here at the bottom of the stairs, waiting for his man. Nave, what are you doing? God damn!
God damn indeed, Des. I mean, Patball's the man who can always seem to clutch it when it's in those dire straits. And when you have a player like that in your roster, you can never be written off. And this is where someone from my chat, Nelson, came up with this chant after Patball did that clutch as well. And it just simply goes, please don't send us home. Patball's in the zone. I just don't think you understand. With thermite in his hand, Wylde are doing grand. Please don't send them home. Up the Patball, baby. Up the Wylde. So there's your chant you can use in the EUL chats whilst you're watching the games and watching Patball pop off on that frag night. So now to a lot of people's favourite part, the jersey review/reveal. There you can see Kanto wearing one of the jerseys as well. I'll now play the little promo video that they put out last year promoting their jersey. And I have to say, I'm a big fan of it. But you can make your mind up and have a look at it now. I think one thing that really stands out for me with this jersey is the term clean. You've got the Wylde logo, then the Puma logo above, and it's not covered in tons of logos or sponsors. It's just a clean cut, stunning jersey, and it's getting an 8.6 out of 10 for me. And you can also find a link in the description below if you would like to get your hands on one of those Wylde jerseys. So now we go into the most confusing segment if you're not really an esports fan or a football fan yet. But I will keep going on with these just in case it helps one person out there. So when I think of a football team that can maybe be comparable to Wylde, it may be Tottenham. Because Wylde, they're so good at performing these best of ones, win the group stages that get them to the chance to qualify for the major. But when push comes to shove, they haven't necessarily performed hugely impressively in those best of 3 series. And it's usually the best of 3 series that really count, because those are the best of 3s that you need to win to get yourself to these major spots. And I highlighted on it earlier in the video that they brought in sort of experienced, established players who are used to dealing with this pressure. We've seen Nello make countless majors with M&M. We've seen Kanto Raketti win with G2 in SI. So I think what they've done is they brought in more experienced players and trusty players who can maybe give them that little bit of an edge, because they build up to almost the pinnacle in the past Wylde, and they've just fallen away at those crucial moments when they get those chances to make it to these big events. So I think that's why I've sort of gone for the Tottenham, sort of the Tottenham approach. They didn't find that insulting whatsoever, because I think Wylde have made the changes that they need to make to get them up to that next level by bringing in that experience. And I think going into this season, I think Wylde could be a very exciting team to watch. So will Wylde have your support this season? Hopefully this has given you a little bit more information into why you might want to support Wylde. There's still plenty more of these videos to come in the build up to the start of EUL, which starts on the 18th of March, and there are going to be some banger games. But I'll see you in the next one, you legends, and have a lovely rest of your day. Bye bye.